So a battle tank rampages through the streets of San Diego, destroying everything in its path. Why? Well, it all starts with this guy, Shawn. And Shawn is in his 20s, he's in the army. Here's an actual picture of him. And in the army, they teach him to drive tanks. And he likes driving tanks, makes him feel good. But see, Shawn, he's kind of an angry dude, and he's a little nutty. So in 1980, after only being in the military for 2 years, boom, they kick him out due to multiple disciplinary problems. And so he moves back to his hometown of San Diego, and there he becomes a plumber. And it's not driving tanks like he wants, but this is a pretty good job for him. But even so, over the years, his whole life starts falling apart. Like his plumbing business is failing, he eventually starts drinking a lot and getting into drugs, specifically meth. His wife leaves him, then he later gets a girlfriend and she breaks up with him and moves out. And at one point someone steals his work van, which has all his plumbing tools in it. So now poor Shawn can't work and the bills are really starting to pile up. And as you can imagine, this is all too much for Shawn to handle. He's starting to feel hopeless and powerless. So what does he do to deal with all this hardship? Well, he gets a shovel and he starts digging for gold in his own backyard. I guess he believes there's gold back there for some reason and that this gold is gonna change his life. Now, it's unclear if he believes this because of all the meth he's using or if it's mental illness or what. But what is clear is that Shawn is becoming delusional. Regardless, he keeps digging and digging and digging. And he's all excited about the project, like he's going around telling his friends and his neighbors how rich he's gonna be and how there's probably a bunch of other valuable stuff in his backyard too, like oil and minerals and stuff. And of course, by this point, his friends are getting really worried about him, like, you alright, bud? But whatever, Shawn continues to dig. And eventually, he's dug a giant 17-foot deep hole in his backyard. And this hole is so deep that he has to put up temporary walls so that it doesn't cave in. Here's actually a picture of Shawn's brother climbing out of it, and you can see that he has to use a ladder. That's how deep it is. Anyway, I guess at some point Shawn realizes this digging, it isn't going to solve his problems, because his problems actually get much worse. By 1995, he's around 35 years old now, he's having major financial issues. I guess he's broke and he's not paying his bills because his lights get turned off. His water also gets turned off, and at one point, Shawn gets a letter telling him that his house is about to be foreclosed on. And so, once again, Shawn feels hopeless and powerless. Like, what's he gonna do now? His business is failing, he's got no money, there's no gold in his backyard, and that is when Shawn just snaps. Because one day, that same year, he gets an insane idea. He's gonna punish the entire city of San Diego for all the bullshit he's been going through. First, he drives to a nearby National Guard armory. And the place is closed, but some guys are still there working, and for some reason, they left the gate wide open and unattended. And so Shawn just drives right onto this secured military compound with no problem. And he parks, and he gets out, and he's wandering around the base, and at this point, he's high on a bunch of meth, and he's got no shirt on, so he very much looks like a lunatic. And there are guards around, but for some reason, they don't try to stop him. They don't even try to approach him. I'm not even sure if they notice him. Now remember, Shawn used to be a tank driver when he was in the military. So naturally, he heads over to where the battle tanks are parked, and he sees that there are like 10 for him to choose from. So he climbs up on one, and he jumps inside, and he tries to start it, but it won't start. So he tries again. He goes to a second tank, jumps inside, but this one won't start either. So he starts climbing onto a third tank. Now it's at this moment that he's finally spotted by a guard, and the guard looks at him, and he says, "Hi." And shirtless, high on meth Shawn is like, "Hi." And that's it. Like, the guard doesn't say anything else to try and stop him. So Shawn just keeps going. Like, he climbs down into the tank, presses the big push to start button, and this one starts right up. And so off he goes to start this incredible tank rampage. And boom, he smashes through the fence, and he drives off the base and into the streets of San Diego in this whole-ass military tank. And of course, people notice. And so pretty quickly, someone sees this and they call the police. And they're like, there's a military tank rolling down the street. And police are like, do what now? And so immediately, police cars are on the scene and there's like a dozen of them trying to chase Shawn down. However, it's not long before they realize that they're not equipped to take on this military vehicle built for war. This thing could easily crush their squad cars. And so, as they try and figure out what to do, Shawn just keeps going, causing all kinds of chaos. He's smashing into parked cars and flattening them. He rams through a stoplight pole and drags it along with him as he drives away. He intentionally runs over a fire hydrant which cuts off water to the local residents. And police, they just look foolish even trying to stop him. I mean, look how easily this tank tears through this trailer.
This guy's in big trouble. Yeah, that's putting it mildly. He's doing these cars on purpose.
And so Shawn, he appears to be loving this. He sticks his head out of the hatch so people can see him, all smiling and laughing. I mean, this is probably the best he's felt in years. Who cares if he's broke? Who cares if he can't find gold in his backyard? He's driving a motherfucking tank. Finally, he no longer feels hopeless and powerless. Meanwhile, police, they're over here freaking out. They're yelling at pedestrians to stay back and stay away from the situation so that they don't get hurt.
San Diego Police Department, everybody go back to your house and get off the street. He's doing these cars on purpose.
And so this whole chaotic scene goes on for 23 whole minutes. And in that time, Shawn has destroyed over 40 cars and caused all kinds of damage to the city. And he has no intention of stopping. And so it looks like there's nothing police, or anyone really, can do about it. Until... At this point, Shawn decides to take this chase onto the highway for some reason. Maybe he's going to a new city, I don't know. But of course, police follow him. And once he's on the highway, he's there, he's cruising along as fast as his tank will go, and suddenly, skirt, he loses control, and he swerves to the left, and kaboom, he hits the center divider. And the tank gets high-centered on that concrete divider there, and now Shawn is stuck. And so police finally have their chance. And so they act fast. And boom, they swarm the accident. And they climb up the tank and they break open the hatch. But Shawn, he isn't ready for this rampage to end. And so he starts revving the engine, rocking the tank back and forth, trying to get free and knock all the police officers off of it. But he can't seem to shake them off in time because suddenly, pow, police bust through the hatch. But Shawn still isn't stopping. And so, blam! An officer shoots him, and he ends up unalived. And a huge shout out to Leonardo.ai for sponsoring this video. If you make videos and you want to make really badass art for those videos, like this, or like this, look at how cool that is. Sign up for Leonardo.ai.